Hey, just going to give a quick update on the red fight and sort of where the strategies are at. This is sort of going to be a state of the red fight strategies given the new teams from the most recent update. It's going to be part strategy guide, part just informative to sort of give you some informational pieces to maybe beat red, whatever team you have and what you're stuck on. Hopefully this will help. So if you're not aware, there are 4 new red teams in addition to the Gen 1 team that we so very figured out in terms of strategy. Now, luckily, it has become known that the Gen 2, 3, and 4 teams all have a fixed lead. And that makes it very easy for us to sort of figure out a strategy that will play out similarly every time. Now, no one's found or has picked out sort of the best strategy for any of those, but it looks like the best option is to bait a ground move and then set up with a sweeper that has the air balloon item equipped that can then set up and sweep the rest of the red team. Now that's pretty difficult because those sweepers need to usually break a substitute on red side. Additionally, they need to set up their own sub to block some pesky moves like Whirlwind, Thunder Wave, for instance. And then it also needs to be able to set up in that the AI can't see an easy swap and win on a 1v1. So that leaves us with a few options, and the 2 that stand out the most to me are Volcarona and Cloister. Both have substitute, both can hit through substitute with Bug Buzz and Icicle Spear. And so far they've seen to work pretty reliably in a few examples, though there's a lot of other options that can work in these slots. Those are 2 that I'm going to probably begin testing a lot extensively myself. And then we need something to bait ground, and it seems that Metagross is far and away the best option to do this. As far as a build for Metagross goes, I couldn't possibly suggest one at this point, but something that's bulky and impish seems like a pretty good option at this point. So that's sort of the gist of it. It's basically get a Metagross in, trick on ground, set up, and sweep. You want to set up with a sub and whatever the boosting move is, Quiver Dance for Volcarona or Shell Smash for Cloister. I'll give you a quick example of what a fight like this should look like. I'm going to do something pretty interesting here. I have a Tanga Berry equipped to this Espeon. That is for a very particular reason. This Gliscor that Red's going to lead with knows U-Turn and Earthquake. And if I don't have this equipped, it will click U-Turn, which causes problems. It won't just click Earthquake and KO the Espeon. But with the Tanga Berry equipped, the AI sees Earthquake as the better option. And the reason we start with the Espeon is to give ourselves free Stealth Rocks and deny Stealth Rocks to Red. So we're going to do that. We're going to Baton Pass. It clicks Earthquake. In other instances, for a Cloister, I don't think you need to even care about the Stealth Rocks. For Volcarona, we do, because Tyranitar is going to come in and set up Sandstorm. So if we took Rocks damage plus a 25% from the substitute, we die from Sandstorm chip. So we don't want to do that. Now Gliscor is scarfed on Earthquake. It's just very convenient that we have a lead Pokemon that can be tricked on ground and then easily set up on. And yeah, so like I was saying, the Cloister wouldn't need it. The Cloister doesn't care as much about the Sandstorm chip. It's just Volcarona is very weak to Stealth Rocks, so we have to deny the Stealth Rocks. So that's just a clever way of bouncing the Stealth Rocks back. You could probably very easily just use a Defog Pokemon and then set up your own Stealth Rocks. I don't even know if the Rocks damage is necessary. I haven't run the calcs on this. I've only just tested it in practice. So what we're going to do is we're just going to Quiver Dance up to +6. Cloister would also be faster if you're worried about Charm Time. 3 Shell Smashes and a substitute versus 6 Quiver Dances. We might be able to get away with fewer Quiver Dances, but Meganium at the end with a light screen could cause problems. So I elect to just go to +6 here to show you. Eventually the calcs will be run. So with that said, there will be a guide in the description or a link in the description to something like a guide where I'm just going to keep up to date the best strategy for each generation's team. So like I said, Gen 2 through 4 are pretty solved. Gen 1 obviously solved. Gen 5 is currently the pesky one, and it's going to be a while. Hopefully I roll that one pretty soon. So I can do a lot of testing on it. I don't know if that might have been an extra quiver dance, but yep, it was. So we need to set up our substitute. Can't forget that, to deny the Thunderwave is on this particular variation of team. And then we're good to go. I think Flamethrower might actually be a better option than Fiery Dance for a PvE Volcarona, but this is my PvP one, and I don't feel like changing the moveset that much. We did get the Fiery Dance proc. So we deny Thunderwave, and it's pretty straightforward from here on out. It's just an easy sweep. But yeah, Gen 5 is going to be the pesky one. It's going to take us a little while to figure that one out. I've seen a couple strategies where it ends up just looking like we were doing for the very first red fight, where it's just a bunch of Pokemon slapped together that ended up working. It's just going to be a pain to figure that one out finally. But in the meantime, 2 through 4, you've got a 4 and 5 shot of getting a 2 or 3 Pokemon required team to beat red. So if you've held on to your Gen 1 team, you can just use that one. You will keep the red team until you defeat it. So you can scout the red team and then come back and pop charms. It will be a bit of a pain to run back up Mount Silver, but I've done it. I couldn't tell you how many times. It's got to be in the hundreds, well into the hundreds. So you can do it twice a week, I promise. But yeah, to summarize, basically, we're just looking at tricking on ground, setting up with an air balloon sweeper, Cloyster Volcarona recommended. Other stuff might work too. Just as long as you just want to boost speed, set up sub, and you need to break other substitutes for some of the teams. And so yeah, come back to this video and check the description. Look at the guide in the description. I'm going to keep it up to date. I'm not going to feint Meganium here because I want to test a little bit more, and I'm going to come back and do it on Charm. But yeah, that's kind of the state of things as they are at the moment. I'm going to keep an eye on evolving strategies and let you all know what sort of becomes the meta. If you wanted to start breeding something, I would definitely recommend a Metagross. It seems like it's just going to be useful, and I think Metagross is useful across the board for PvP, unless they wholesale nerf the AI to stop this trick setup from working across the board. Metagross is going to be kind of a staple in sort of a PvE roster, if you will. So I would definitely recommend that. Cloyster for sure. Cloyster is always going to have use. It's just a very powerful Pokemon. I'm going to breed both for sure. I've got my Volcarona. I'm probably going to breed another one of those. So if you've got the resources, you could probably go out and breed those. And definitely have a reliable team to beat most of Red's teams. But until we figure out that last team, it's going to be a bit pesky. Just want to give a huge shout out to everyone that's in Petrowski's Discord, strategizing, theorizing on the red fight. Xanarchy comes to mind, Secret GG, obviously my teammate. He passed me this Metagross to test with. So huge thanks to him, and everyone else, Rainer for sure, who initially kind of talked about this exact strategy, tricking on ground for the immunity. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can, and I'll keep you all updated on what kind of evolves as the best red strats. Have a good one.